the eclipse that took place on the 25th of November, this eclipse illuminated his 11th house. It set his 11th house on fire. And if you look at the 11th house, he has both Pluto and Mars. These two are in conjunction. These two planets are very, these are the planets of war, sexuality, power, manipulation. And 11th house is the house of connections, is the house of how you integrate in the community, how you relate to others, your network, how you network with others. And if he has those two planets of war, of passion, of power, of who knows what was going on in there. Who knows what was going on when this eclipse took place and illuminated that particular house. Obviously, he was already going through a lot of things. If you look at his birth chart, there's just a lot going on in there, a lot of concentrated energies, in there. But when this eclipse happened, he must have been on a breaking point. And he did what he did. He ended up being found by his housekeeper, drowned, right, in his bathroom, unfortunately. So I found it interesting. When I heard about his passing, and I wanted to bring this forward just to show how sometimes some energies can, impact the way that we feel. They can either make us feel great, or they can make us feel the denser, heavier energies. So we have to pay attention to these things. Aaron has passed away on the 5th of November. And I found his passing very unfortunate. However, it was also interesting because it happened days after the eclipse that took place in Scorpio. Why do I want to talk about it? Because overall, Aaron has a very interesting birth chart. It's just very, very, very interesting. It's full of very concentrated energies, which are mostly here on the western side of his birth chart. And there's lots of conjunctions, and the degrees are also very interesting. And then the most interesting is that the moon is basically on the opposite side of his overall placements. Like, all the placements are basically cluttered together in one side, and then we've got the moon on the other side. This alone shows that he had like his path in terms of how he would bond with people, how he would bond his connection to others, to other things, would be a challenge in this lifetime. Aaron has an afflicted moon, and this afflicted moon, his afflictions are towards the direction that he would have to take in life, because his moon is squaring his midheaven. This kind of affliction would cause a lot of confusion in regards to which direction he would have to take in life, right? He could have been one of those people that finds one thing, he thinks that he wants to do that this is it, okay, but then something would happen that could drive him to go in the opposite direction, or he would face challenges that he wasn't expecting. There would just be a lot of things in there in the path to cause all of these like obstacles in regards to where he wanted to go, what he wanted to do. He may have faced a lot of confusion on which way was the way forward overall. Another affliction to his moon is that he has moon opposite Venus. Moon opposite Venus is a quite painful placement, because moon is how we connect, moon is how we bond. It represents our home, it represents the mother in general, and Venus represents how we express love, how we receive love, how we connect with others in that romantic, not just romantic, mainly romantic, but not just romantic. It could be just the way that others in general express love towards you, and how you receive that love, and how you reflect, mirror, all right, that love. If his moon was in conflict with the Venus, this means that the love wasn't really present. The love wasn't really present. And I heard a little bit of his story, and it's quite painful actually. It's quite painful because it seemed like he didn't really have a good relationship with his family overall. Okay, he had a twin which passed away. His father, I think, also passed away, but meanwhile they were alive. They seemed to be, he had like loads of he seemed to have a lot of family issues. There was a lot of trouble in the home. And we can also see that with Aries in his 4th house. There was a lot of trouble. He didn't really seem to glue very well with his family overall. Even though he kept trying to connect with his family, something wasn't gluing well. And he ended up moving away from everybody. He kept on basically isolating himself. Every time he tried to go back to his family, it seemed like he wanted to show love, but that love wasn't mirrored back to him. So this is seen with this planet, with these placements here between Moon and Venus. They are on opposite sides, right? They are on opposite sides. And then the Venus is on his 1st house. So this means that he was a very Venusian person. He was a person that, expressed those Venusian qualities. Venusians, they are sensual people. They are alluring. They can express love, all right? Venus is on the 1st house. Venus is on the 1st house, which is very connected to who he is. And then the moon is in the 7th house, which is the house of relationships. So these two elements are opposite to each other. And it was very reflected on his journey. And then he also had moon opposite Neptune. So yeah, loads of afflictions to the moon. Very, 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 very critical afflictions, especially the Venus opposite moon. That's a critical one. It is a critical one. He also had Chiron. He had Chiron on the cusp of the 6th and the 7th house. This means that he dealt with a lot of pain, both in regards to his work and in regards to his family and relationships, because the moon is there in the 7th house as well. So these were very painful areas in his life. Work and family and work. Chiron is right there on the cusp, right? It's not just there in the 7th house. It's not just there in the 6th house. It's right there, right? In between both houses. So these were very affected areas in his life. and his Saturn on the 12th house is at 22 degrees. That is a critical degree. I have videos on critical degrees which you guys can check and watch and have an idea of how it impacts people. Critical degrees are energies that cause a lot of feelings of urgency, right? So you have to be careful with these things. And then he also has that 29 degrees on his north node, wherever it is that he was going, and it's a little bit on the opposite side of his midheaven. So yeah, he was dealing with a lot. So rest in peace.